Ukraine Today is joined by Ukrainian journalist, blogger, and political activist, Mr. Dmytro Potechin. Mr. Potechin, welcome to Ukraine Today.
Hello.
Mr. Potechin, last year you were held in captivity in Donetsk for 48 days. And right now your case is being decided by the European Court of Human Rights. Can you tell us, who are you suing?
I'm suing, first of all, Russia, of course, for the terrorist operation this terrorist organization is doing in the Crimea and eastern Ukraine, and Ukraine for the failure to provide rule of law in these territories.
How did you come up with the idea of suing Russia with the European Court of Human Rights?
Well, it's natural because Russia annexed the Crimea, and Russia is helping the terrorists in Donetsk, and Russia itself is a terrorist organization, basically. We still, for some reason, call it a country. For some reason, this organization has its diplomats in the UN Security Council here in Kiev, but actually they are not diplomats. They are representing Russia, but they are representing not the country Russia. They are now representing terrorist organization Russia.
Well, Dmytro, there is international diplomacy, there is international law, and obviously Russia is continuously denying its presence in eastern Ukraine.
Yes, but the world must recognize that as of today, Russia is not a country anymore. It is a terrorist organization, sorry.
When you filed your lawsuit with the European Court of Human Rights, what kind of evidence did you provide for the court to consider this case at all? And did the court accept the case against Russia?
Yes, of course. It accepted the application even before I was released. The case was filed by my sister. And when I was out, I of course provided more evidences, not only from myself, but also from the people who were detained together with me, from my friends whom I contacted before I was arrested, because I managed to send several pictures while in Donetsk.
What stage the case is at right now? Have there been any hearings? Were you invited to the court to give any statements? Can you tell a few words about that?
There were no hearings yet. Actually, for these types of cases, there are not necessarily live hearings. It's not like what we know from the media, from movies about courts. It can be done in a different way. My British lawyers from the European Human Rights Advocacy Center at the Middlesex University in London, they're working on the case. And also Ukrainian Helsinki group is helping with the case. So I'm pretty sure these are good guys and they're working on the cases professionally. And I'm terribly thankful to all the people who are helping me now.
Who's paying the legal fees for your lawyers?
It's arranged through international organizations, not me. I can't pay lawyers from the United Kingdom.
You were held on the premises of the former art center Izolatia, called Izolatia, which in turn is a former production facility, industrial facility. And here's the Google Maps screenshot of the part of Donetsk where this art center Izolatia is located. Can you tell us what was happening there?
Well, actually, it's former plant, as you mentioned, and former art center. And it was turned into concentration camps. Actually, there are several places where people were held, and probably they are still kept there. I know that the people who were kept with me together, they were released because I managed to contact them when I was released. But I'm not sure that international organizations, lawyers, OSCE or Red Cross or others, they're visiting this place, because throughout these 48 days of my detention, there was no international organization, no international observer. There was nobody. So this place was unknown to the international community before I left it.
Yeah, it looks like this was an outlawed place. Dmytro, can we take a closer step towards this map? And if you could show us what exactly was there on the premises of this detention facility?
Well, actually, this is an administrative building like any plant has, and several hangars and production facilities. And I was kept first in an underground in that basement cell, and then I was interrogated and moved to an accounting room cell. It's in this building. And then when I asked the prison guards or these concentration camp guards about rights of detained women, I was moved to the Lux cell. It's not Lux at all. It's probably the worst cell in the whole concentration camp.
So it's quite sarcastic that it's called
Definitely.
Lux cell.
It was named this way by the prison guards themselves. And they were threatening people with sending to that cell. It's very small cell, actually, no windows, almost no oxygen, and I was kept there twice. First 3 days with a bunch of people, 10 other people, and it was quite tough, and we were not given water regularly. It was really serious.
Dmitry, can you tell us what is the art interrogation room and the video interview spot?
Well, art interrogation room, this is a part of that factory which was really turned into art room. Actually, it's kind of fancy room. You can find such rooms in any art center all around the world. And it was quite absurd, you know. It's that nice room, nice pictures on the walls, and we were interrogated there, me and several other people before me. 1 week into detention, I was asked to give interview for the journalists, but definitely they were not journalists, contrary to Ukraine.
Were they Russian journalists?
Well, they did not present. Actually, I asked them, like, because, you know, they were asking me who did I work for, like what agency, what CIA or something like that. But of course, in return, I asked them who did they work for, and they did not answer the question.
Understood. And shall we take a step back to our spot? Can we discuss a little bit the details of your release? You were held there for 48 days. You were released. Did the government of Ukraine take part in your release negotiations? Was this some sort of prison exchange?
Well, in my case, no exchange. I was not kept as a military prisoner. So in my case, I don't know how it worked, frankly. I know that the terrorists, one of them, after I was brought for interrogation by FSB officer, it was about 1 week into the detention, he told me that actually Ukraine was not willing to exchange me, and I said that I'm not insisting on exchange, that I can just go, and they said that also Russia does not want to take me, and I said it's not a problem at all. I'm not insisting on that too. And they suggested to work for them, to work for the live news propaganda channel, and I of course said no, and for a very, very simple reason, that actually I could hear people being beaten for hours with words from the Russian and Donetsk propaganda channels. And I saw people beaten and seriously injured. And they were beaten by the people who were indoctrinated by the Russian propaganda. So for me to give, to agree on that cooperation would mean to participate in violence directly. Not just in propaganda, but in violence.
Again, about your case with the European Court of Human Rights, is the government of Ukraine helping you in any way with this case?
Well, probably, but I don't know about that. I know that the international human rights lawyers and activists, they're seriously helping with that. But I was asked several times and interviewed and interrogated or questioned several times by several Ukrainian law enforcement agencies, but it looked more like, official and bureaucratic need to just report.
To check the box. It looks like it's just you and the NGOs who are helping you. Dmitro, many thanks for coming to us and talking to us.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you very much. This was Volodymyr Sulhu for Ukraine Today, together with Ukrainian journalist, blogger, and political activist who was detained in Donetsk for 48 days, Mr. Dmitro Potechin. Thank you for watching us.